Hello everyone and welcome to the Canadian Ultimate Championships. We are here with the Junior Women's Division, Mofo versus Bonfire. We had Mofo opening the game up with a break right away. My name's Bobby Anderson. I'm joined here in the booth with Talina Huff. This is the second round of games in this Junior Women's pool play. Talina, tell us a little bit about this division and what you're looking forward to today.
I'm just always looking forward to the energy that juniors bring. Like, they're so excited, they're so aggressive on the field, and I'm just looking forward to some exciting ultimates to watch today.
All right, Bonfire's O-line back on the field. Disc is in the middle. Oh, and a little bit of a miscue again. Mofo with the chance to get their second break of the game. Disc in the hands of Knockout. Immediately puts the huge huck up into the end zone. Oh, and a huge bid, but can't quite reel it in. Bonfire with a chance to get their hold back. Looks like that's number 11, Brooklyn Erickson, picking up the disc for Bonfire. Setting up an avert stack. Goes immediately to the break side and unleashes a huge huck. Two receivers in the area, but the Mofo defender gets a hand on it. Great pressure out from the start from the Mofo defenders. Knockout with the disc again. Swings it to the middle to Gillis. Mofo doing a great job moving the disc laterally. Knockout with a save there. Looking downfield, finds a cutter open in Alex Yelwega. Disc in the middle with Taya Neeson. Swings back to a reset, finds Gillis. Oh, and it looked like the disc just slipped out of her hands there. Bonfire getting the disc back again. Oh, and Gillis gets it right back. Bonfire making a huge bid, but isn't able to reel it in. Oh, it looks like we do have an injury on the field.
Looks like she was holding her face a little bit, maybe got a little pop. Yeah, it looks like she keeps holding her nose. I bet she just got a little hit there.
Observers stepping in just to help with the discussion. Bonfire will take a sub. Our observers today, Dominic St. Jacques and Jonathan Nelson, doing a great job helping our juniors out down on the field with any calls that will come up today. Looks like there's still a little bit of a discussion. I'm not sure if there was a foul called or just an injury. Looks like they're talking it out, what it will come in at.
Looks like they'll take that injury sub.
It looks like the disc will be staying with Mofo in the hands of Megan Gillis. Lots of experience coming from her. She was just in Heidelberg playing on the U24 mixed team. But definitely a great presence for Mofo to have out on the field. All right, taps the disc in. Immediately goes for the reset. Oh, great save there. Caitlin Chow. Looking for a bailout, finds it. A little bit of contact on the fake there. That'll be coming in at 0.
Looks like they're talking about it, so maybe a contest.
Oh, huge pressure by the Bonfire. Carolyn Kim
gets a hand on it.
Disc back in the hands of Bonfire. Finds an open under receiver. Looking up line. Chooses to holster it. Has a reset. Again up line. Oh, and it's saved. Brooklyn Erickson immediately shoots into the end zone. Great read there, but just not quite in the end zone. Bryn Freeland with the disc on the sideline. Oh, and does a great job to keep her toes in. A little bit of a high stall count there. Had to force it, but Great job by the receiver, good field awareness, and is able to keep her toes in. Can't quite see the number of who that was there.
Yeah, no, both teams are showing excellent field awareness right now. The awareness to bring that kind of bobbled pass that was maybe a little bit wobbly in and maintain the toe drag, really impressive.
Yeah, lots of great saves by Bonfire. A little bit of a chaotic point to start out for them. A couple drops and miscommunications. I think we'll see that with the junior division. Both teams still kind of feeling each other out. This is the second game that they're playing today. Bonfire just had a loss to Wicked. So they're going to be coming out firing, wanting to kind of redeem themselves from that one. And Mofo just actually had a win in their first game. So I think we're going to see a good match here.
Yeah, a 12-3 win, the coach was telling us when we went to chat on the field before against Rolling Thunder earlier. So they'll be coming out looking to keep that lead and keep scoring and doing well in the tournament.
All right, so we'll get a look at Mofo's O-line here. The coach was saying all the players on his O-line have quite a bit of experience. All of them will definitely be ones to look out for throughout this tournament.
Oh, Bonfire's putting a zone on. Cup in there with a 3-person cup.
Nice over top by Knockert. Disc on the far sideline now, swings back to the middle. Great movement by these Mofo handlers. Not holding the disc too long, don't want to let that cup get set up. Another great look, kind of cheeky scuba over the top. I think we'll see that a lot from her today. Ooh. Oh, an unfortunate, nice pressure there by Emma Bullock of Bonfire. Just made her think a little too hard about that one. Immediate huck up into the end zone. Knockart is there. Looks like there's a little bit of contact, but I think just incidental and no foul called. Disc back in the hands of Mofo. Bonfire staying in their zone. It worked once. They have Mofo pinned in their own end zone here. We'll see what they can make of it. Huge huck up into space. Bonfire pressure there. Oh, and she gets a hand on it. Maybe a little bit of a position play there, just wanting to get it out of their end zone and not give the disc back to Bonfire right on the end zone line. So Bonfire with a chance to get their first break of the game here. Oh, again, little help from not the intended receiver, but Bonfire doing a great job to reel it in. Disc is on the far sideline. Lots of pressure from Mofo defense. Oh, and just tipped off of the hands of the receiver. Sarah Stoa is going to pick up the disc for Mofo. And again, we see Bonfire setting up in that effective zone. Nice grab there by Knockert. Great read. Swings the disc to the sideline.
Oh, finds the hole through the middle.
Throw through the middle to Knockert. Surveying the field. Not a lot of downfield options. She definitely loves the over-the-cup shots. Stows with the disc. Back to Knockert. Swinging to the far sideline. Immediately blasts upfield. Oh, and just a little tip. And a great save by Jillian Bannister there. Immediately floats one into the end zone and finds an open receiver.
Yeah, and Bannister just got her hand right in there and just snagged it before the Bonfire player had a chance to connect on that. That brings the score to 2-1, 2 being for Mofo, 1 being for Bonfire. Mofo's playing in white, Bonfire in dark.
Yeah, if you are just joining us, we are at the Canadian Ultimate Championships at Ivor Dent Sports Park. This is the junior women's division featuring Mofo in white and Bonfire in black. That was a hold for Mofo, so we'll get another look at their D-line here. How are you feeling about these first 2 points? What are you seeing out there?
Maybe it's a little bit of nerves. I mean, I know they've both had games before already, but it seems like some of the discs are maybe floating a little bit more than they want it to. But overall, both teams are doing great field awareness, being really aware of where the disc is, handlers on Mofo did a really, really good job of moving the disc across the field and making that cup work to keep up with it. And that paid off for them. They managed to find those holes and convert on a couple of points here. So we'll see if Bonfire can bring it back and get this next point and tie it up.
Nice pull from Mofo. Disc in the middle of the field. Swings to Bella Martin. Bonfire playing an invert stack. Back to Brooklyn Erickson. She puts the huck up and just a little bit short for her receiver there. Mofo with another chance to break. Disc picked up by Isabel Innerson. Sorry if I did not pronounce that properly. And just a little bit of slip, isn't able to reel it in, so Bonfire back with the disc. That's Jade McDonald going to pick it up. Has an open receiver right away, and Kate Bourdon. Floats one up, reeled in nicely by Hannah Smith. Surveying her options. And it looks like the Mofo player maybe just got a little bit of hand on there. Might have slipped out of her hand too. Mofo with another chance here. Immediately puts one up, doing her best to get there, but can't quite make it. Emily Chow chasing that one down. So we'll have Jade McDonald picking the disc up. Huge poach through the middle. Kate Bourdon, good recognition there. Resets the disc. A nice give and go move there. Puts it up for Bryn Freeland. And great pressure, but nice grab by Brooklyn Erickson. Goes up and gets two hands on it. Resets back. Looks like there's a call on the field. Pick called. Very common with teams running vert stacks. You have to be extremely disciplined to not result in any picks being called. Disc in the hands of Jade McDonald.
Emily Cho setting up that mark for Mofo.
Great undercut there. Emma Bullock pivoting around, faking, and finds someone not quite in the end zone though. Brooklyn Erickson, and she shoots one in for Hannah Smith.
That was nice. They just worked it up the force side there. Some little chop passes. It's unfortunate that first one wasn't quite in. Looked like she tried to do the jump to get the point, but then quickly recovered, kept a nice cool head, and was able to get that point to Smith.
Yeah, I think we're seeing from both teams probably a little bit of nerves. It's exciting to be on the live stream field for the first time. It kind of seems like they're settling down a little bit now. A few floaty throws, but they're both doing a great job of reeling those in and really getting two hands on each disc. Now we're all tied up at 2.
Yeah, the coach. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say the coach was saying that they didn't have a chance. Mofo didn't have a chance to do a lot of tournaments this year. So I'm sure that psychological aspect to the game where, you're being televised and, maybe your family is like tuning into the stream can really play into your performance a little bit there. And so keeping a cool head and adjusting, it seems like they're doing a great job of that.
Yeah, for sure. They said they're definitely still figuring out their strategy a little bit, kind of figuring out their chemistry. So I think we'll see them get even better as this game goes on. Sarah Stoas swings the disc to Knockert. Back to Stoas. See that Bonfire cup coming down again. Finds an open receiver through the middle. Great grab by Megan Gillis. Had to go up for that one. Swings it back to Knockert. Back to Stoas. Looking into the end zone. Doesn't find a receiver. Swings it back to Knockert. To Caitlin Cho. Looking for Stoas, but the Bonfire player cuts it off. Get our first kind of look at Mofo's end zone here. And puts one up just over the head of Knockert. maybe rushed it a little bit. I think she was excited that she saw Knockert so wide open there, and just a little bit of execution error, too high for Knockert to reel that one in. Bonfire back with the disc on their own end zone line. Looking for a reset. Mofo defense is there, and Megan Gillis comes with the run through D. Stoas picks the disc up. Immediately shoots around, but that one a little bit too low. So Bonfire back with the disc here.
Looks like the stall count got a little high there, so she just put it out, and Mofo comes down with it.
Mofo back with the disc. Looking for a reset. Again, looking like a bit of a high stall count situation, but finds Megan Gillis. Over to Knockert. Finds Gillis up the line. Not quite in, though. Nice patience on the end zone line there by Megan Gillis. Back to Knockert. A little bit of a chaotic end zone happening from Mofo here. Puts one up. It's floaty, but great grab. Caitlin Cho able to reel that one in.
Yeah, it looks like the wind took that throw a little bit, went a little bit higher than she probably intended it to, but worked out.
Yeah, we saw, looked like a little bit of a chaotic end zone from Mofo. Seemed like they had everyone kind of cutting at once. I think they'll want to clean that up a little bit as the day goes on, but floats it up, and great grab by Caitlin Cho to reel that one in to make it 3-2 for Mofo.
Yeah, that's always tough, riding that line between having a disciplined end zone stack and also making sure that your handlers have some options down there. So maybe a little bit closer to the discipline side, a little bit less chaos. Make sure you're not pulling your defenders into areas where your handlers want to throw.
All right, so Mofo back on defense. We've seen Bonfire come down in zone a couple times in these last points to some success on the Mofo O-line, so we'll see if they maybe want to throw a zone on of their own, if they're happy just playing match defense. I think that's one of the great parts of Ultimate, is it ends up being a little bit of a chess match. How are you going to shake the other O-line up?
Well, best defense is always making the other team do something that they're uncomfortable with, so...
It's Nicole Gobert with the pull. Caught by Jade McDonald. Round throw. Immediately puts one up. Finds her receiver. But she can't reel it in. That's Hannah Smith. We've seen her be a target downfield a few times today, and just the disc floating a little bit more than they want it to. So back in the hands of Mofo's Isabel Inerson. Swings it over to Nicole Gobert. Looking for a reset, can't find it. Puts one up. Mofo a little bit stuck on this sideline. And a nice save there. Katrina Freeling. Bonfire doing a great job of cutting off these resets. There they're able to get it off the sideline in the hands of Nicole Gobert. Faking, looking for her cutters, motioning where she wants them to go, directing traffic. Gets it to Tien Lee. Back to Isabel Arneson. Again, looking for options, has to float it around. Nice grab there. Nicole Gobert. Looking for undercutters. And a great pressure D by Bonfire. Runs right through. That's Emma Bullock. Jade McDonald picking it up, airing it out for, and just a little bit too low there for her receiver. Emma Bullock. So Mofo will be on their own end zone and sideline. We'll see what they can do with this. Looking for a reset, having problems finding it. Again, Bonfire pressuring those handler resets. And almost saves it. Short field here for Bonfire. Jade McDonald picking it up. And can't quite reel it in. Einerson with the disc. Not a lot of options. Looking upfield, floats one over. Oh, nice save there. Samantha McFadden swings the disc up. Oh, great bid there, but again, just out of the hands of Lisbeth Hildebrand. Jade McDonald with the disc. Just a little bit of a bobble there for Kate Borden, so bit of a gift for Mofo. Shorter field to work with, and they're right in the middle of the field, so we'll see if they can punch this one in. Einerson with the disc. Looking for upfield cutters. Again, Bonfire putting a lot of pressure on those upfield cutters. Back to Gobert. Puts one up. Finds Alexi Gagnon. Knocking on the door here. Tien Lee with the disc. Swings it back to Gobert. Mofo getting into their stack. No cutter, option open. Gobert streaks up line. Wisely swings the disc back. Oh, and puts it into the end zone. I believe that was Lisbeth Hildebrand that scored or assisted the goal.
Yeah, she's a little far away to see who actually pulled it in, but I think it might be Katrina Freeling. Yeah, man, that was one of the longer points that we've seen so far today in this game. I think Bonfire did a really good job of controlling the tempo on that, maybe a little bit better than they have been earlier. And there was a lot of turnovers back and forth, and Mofo just came out ahead with a little bit grindier offense there.
Yeah, Bonfire doing a great job, putting a lot of pressure on those downfield cutters and also on the handler resets. There was a few bailout throws there from Mofo, but in the end, great patience on the end zone line. They swung it around and found their wide open cutter.
Yeah, it seemed like the stall count was getting up quite high on some of those Mofo throwers just from really hard marks, and those downfield cutters like really taking away their options. Downfield defenders.
So it looks like we do have a timeout here on the field. If you're just joining us, we have Mofo in white and Bonfire in dark. The score is currently 4-2 for Mofo. We are in the junior women's division here at the Canadian Ultimate Championships, Ivor Dent Sports Park. Can definitely see all of the work that has been put into this whole week here. The Edmonton Ultimate Players Association, I know, has been working tirelessly with Ultimate Canada. Can see the sponsors that they have here are just phenomenal. This is a great facility to be in. Tons of green space, lots of Ultimate happening all around us, and we are just super happy and excited to be here and appreciate all of our volunteers that have made this happen.
Yeah, no, it's a really nice facility here at Ivor Dent Park. Grass seems nice and lush, not too hard for some exciting layouts apparently, as we've already seen a few times today. And yeah, we'll be having exciting Ultimate all week. So we have the juniors running Monday through Wednesday, I believe. And then we have the single-gendered adult for Thursday through Sunday. Thursday through Sunday, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we'll have the open women's and also masters divisions here later in the week. But right now it is Mofo with the disc. They are pulling to this Bonfire team that I'm sure is itching to get a goal here. This team is from BC. I believe they're north of Vancouver. The program was started because they didn't want to just ship all of the kids across the bridge to Vancouver, so they started their own program and have been having some success so far. Their first CUC was in 2015. That's when the team formed, so very exciting to see that there are new programs popping up throughout the country.
Yeah, it's always nice to see the sport of Ultimate grow a little bit. And so it looks like we have an offside call here from the observer, so they're going to get a warning, and that pull's going to be redone.
Observers doing a great job there, making offside calls, ins and outs, keeping the players to the time. You can see we had a nice, efficient timeout there, which does not always happen when there are not observers around. Disc in the hands of Gabby Campos. Resets to Brooklyn Erickson. Looking upfield. Oh, huge D again by Megan Gillis. She's putting tons of pressure on those underthrows and just able to run through and get a hand on it. Another big grab there by Katrina Freeling. Finds Corey Diamond Burchuk. Resets. Has a cutter coming out of the stack. Nicole Gobert looking for Gillis. Oh, and it just bounces right off her hands.
Yeah, I felt that breeze kick up as soon as it left her hand, and it looks like it just lifted it a little bit more than she was expecting, and maybe just not quite on the right angle that she wanted to release that on.
Taff Oliver with the disc here. Ooh, a little bit of contact there. It was Maddie Boroditsky with the pressure. That's Sarah Morby makes the grab. Looks to be a little shaken up. I think Maddie Boroditsky is getting a warning there from the observer about dangerous play. Luckily, Sarah Morby looks like she is okay and will stay in the game. Oh, finds a receiver, but just out of the hands of Bryn Freeland. So Mofo with a short field here.
Still seeing a little bit of that chaotic end zone.
Puts one up, has a receiver. Oh, and she brings it in. Jillian Bannister able to get that one. Looks like there is a call. Not sure if it was a stall down or a travel.
Looks like it's going back to thrower.
Dominant St. Jacques coming in to help the players out there. So Mofo setting up in their end zone stack, a little bit chaotic. Everyone's kind of cutting at the same time there, so if they can clean that up, I think they'll have a lot more success. Megan Gillis looks like she's directing traffic, trying to do just that. Immediately puts one up to Gillis, and she's able to reel it in.
And Gillis just on fire today. It seems like she's getting some amazing run-through Ds. We've seen a lot of those from her in this first half so far. And it looks like her throwers are consistently looking for her, and there's that team trust there.
Yeah, definitely a standout player for Team Canada as well on that mixed team. I don't know if you caught any of their games, but I definitely saw a few pretty huge grabs for her in Heidelberg there. So wonderful for this Mofo team to have experience like that and have a leader to kind of bring them that experience and also set an example for them.
Yeah, so Megan Gillis was on the under-19 and, as you said recently, also on the under-24 mixed. So clearly a up-and-coming young star.
Yeah, the Mofo program out of Winnipeg has been strong for several years. They are actually the defending champions of the junior women's division. They got their first championship title last year, so there's been quite a bit of turnover in the program, I think they informed me. But still lots of returning players that have a lot of good experience, and they are definitely aiming for that gold again.
Well, if they can bring in a couple of wins early on in the tournament, that's always a great confidence booster. So hopefully that'll carry them through the rest of the tournament to returning gold.
All right, that's Maddie Boroditsky with the pull. Sorry, Elizabeth Hildebrand. Disc in the hands of Bonfire. Nice grab there by Hannah Smith. Looks for an open cutter. Oh, again, Mofo. Just tons of pressure on those unders. That's Caitlin Cho. Gets her hand on that one. Disc back in the hands of Mofo. Swings it up the line. Not a lot of options downfield. Looking for a reset. Surveying the end, so disc in the hands of Isabel Einerson. Puts one up. Lots of Bonfire players in the area. And able to get her hand on that one is Brooklyn Erickson.
That was great defensive positioning from Isabella Wilson, number 15, there in the end zone. Like, she saw that the Mofo player was looking for that back corner and immediately set up her poach there to really take away those options for them.
So it looks like there was an injury call here. I think Einerson's hand, as she let that one go, just came through into the nose of the Bonfire player. I'm not sure who it is that took the sub there, but hopefully she's doing okay. So no call though, just an injury. Disc will remain in the hands of Bonfire. Bonfire still setting up in this vert stack. Finds an open cutter, looking for the next option. Finds it in Madison Franklin. Tons of pressure by the Mofo defenders. Looks like that was Samantha McFadden getting her hand in there, but there is a foul called. Bonfire player feeling like she got a piece of her hand as she swatted through to get that disc. It's Jonathan Nelson stepping in there, helping them resolve this. So it'll be a foul contest. Disc will go back to the Bonfire player. Always nice to see those calls resolved swiftly.
Disc is coming in on 5.
Resets back. Finds Kathleen Kim. Bonfire working it up this open side. Having a bit of a hard time getting it off that sideline. Oh, but puts one up. And Caitlin Cho just gets there a little bit quicker, able to get her hand on that one. Resetting the disc back to the middle of the field. But immediately thrown away. Just aired that one out a little bit too high for her receiver. Bonfire with another opportunity here. And again, we see another huge huck. Both teams getting a little bit excited on this point. It has been a bit of a longer point with a lot of calls. Mofo centering the disc. Finds Lisbeth Hildebrand in the middle of the field. Down to Anna Grieser. Back to Samantha McFadden. Puts a huge huck up, able to find Emily Cho. Nice patience. Oh, what a great grab there. Lisbeth Hildebrand able to get a hand on that disc and reeling it in for Mofo.
Yeah, way to catch that one. It was a little bit above her head there, but then she had the awareness to not only pull that down, but then also make sure that she got the little jump in there for the point. It's always nicer to have a little jump in than to try and force something right on the end zone line. Sometimes you get a little trigger happy.
Yeah, great awareness there by Lisbeth Hildebrand, bringing the score to 6-2 for Mofo. Mofo in the white jerseys, Bonfire in the dark. So Bonfire looking a little bit dejected. I don't think this is quite how they wanted to start their tournament. They just had a loss there in their first game. They are putting a lot of pressure on this Mofo offense, though, and I think if they can just clean up things on their offensive side a little bit, then they'll have some more success on the scoreboard as well.
Yeah, their defensive line has been really controlling the tempo of Mofo, forcing them to make a lot of those swing around passes and look for resets quite often. The stall count keeps getting up quite high. They just need to maybe just take a second, collect themselves on the timeline or on the sideline during this timeout. And hopefully they can come through and get those connecting passes that'll get them some points here.
So there is a timeout on the field. Bonfire just regrouping a little bit here. Some fun facts about Bonfire that they provided for us. They have 8 of their grads competing at the U24 World Championships. So that's out of the boys and girls program. They had 4 on the men's team, 2 boys and 2 girls on the mixed team. So lots of experience there too as well to bring back to this team. So I think they're pretty excited to be here and show what they learned in Heidelberg and just regrouping a little bit here and getting back out there to take on this Mofo squad. Great atmosphere here at Ivor Dent Sports Park. We can hear the Junior Open division happening just to the left of us. Some exciting action. I believe that's also the Mofo men's team playing over there. So lots going on here all week. We do have action from the Junior Boys division after this game. We will be live streaming that one. And then the Junior Women's division later again today. The Junior division happening Monday to Wednesday. We did have some opening ceremonies last night and a first opening game. So stay tuned all week. We will be here, and then Thursday to Sunday will be the adult division. Bonfire with the disc here. Disc in the hands of Kathleen Kim. Looking upfield for Emma Bullock and just can't get her hands on that one. Stoas with the disc. Looking for a knocker. Finds a receiver in the middle, floats that one up. Oh, and a great look, but that just sailing too far out of the hands of Taya Neeson.
Neeson just, so open on that one. It was just a little bit too many Wheaties maybe in breakfast this morning.
Yeah, great cut, wide open receiver. I think it's a little bit breezy here, and the disc is floating more than the players kind of anticipate, but not a huge gust. Oh, and we see another throwaway right away from Bonfire. So Mofo, knocker with the disc, swings to Stoas. Back to Gobert. Knocking on the doorstep here is Gobert. Not a lot of options coming from the stack. Bonfire doing a great job to cut those off. Taya Neeson with the disc. Resets back to Gobert. Now Stowe is coming out of the stack. Great cut.
Bonfire doing a good job of pushing them back there a little bit.
Yeah, getting pushed back in the field. Back to Gobert. Knockert coming out of the stack. Gobert immediately striking up line. Oh, and it just bounces off her hands, but she's able to get it on the second effort. Nicole Gobert reeling that one in for Mofo, making it 7-2 Mofo.
Yeah, you saw that little moment of panic where she realized it bobbled, but thankfully it hung in the air there a little bit thanks to that gusty wind we were just talking about. And she had that awareness to just get that push off and reel that in.
Yeah, great concentration and second effort there by Gobert. Bonfire, we're just seeing a few miscommunications, a couple drops, just not quite the game they're wanting to have. Kind of some unforced errors happening on their part. I think if they can clean that up, this game will be a lot tighter in the second half.
Yeah, like you said, they have lots of talent. I mean, it's really just those miscued plays that are crushing them a little bit right now. And just take that moment to reset, take that deep breath on the sideline, find some strength in your teammates, and I think they'll be able to hopefully come back a little bit here.
Coaches for Bonfire, Carla Keffer and Monica Devonshire, they were telling us that they have a few high-level soccer players who are bringing their speed to the game, so haven't quite been able to let it out yet just due to the conditions and throws, but looking forward to seeing some more of that in the second half. Taff Oliver swings the disc across the field. Finds Miranda Stokovac. Oh, and lots of contact there. I think there's potentially a foul called. Looked like Hannah Smith went to change directions. Can't quite see the Mofo player's number. There we go. Corey Diamond Burchuk Looks like she's going to retract the foul call. Immediately putting one up there. Just a bit of a tricky read there. That OI edge coming over your left shoulder is not the easiest read into the end zone. And that one floating just past the head of her receiver. Bonfire back with the disc. High stall count here. Lots of pressure from Mofo downfield. Hannah Smith catches it in the middle. And that's immediately aired out. Looks like that one is going to trail away as well. It looks like Bonfire's really wanting to use the speed of their cutters, but the throws just haven't quite been there. They're having a little bit of unfortunate luck with the edges that they're putting on those throws and just sailing past the heads of their receivers. Disc in the middle with Mofo. Finds the receiver. That's Corey Diamond Burchuk. Floats one up again, but just sailing over. I think she wanted that one to go a little bit further into the end zone for Isabel Einerson. Bonfire back with the disc. Finds Taff Oliver streaking up line. She airs that one up and again into the hands of a Mofo player. Carol Jean Wong. Back to Einerson. Into the middle for Samantha McFadden. Puts up a huge huck, has a receiver in the end zone, and collects. What a great throw there.
Yeah, Sarah Morby hot on her tail there, like trying to get that D, but just couldn't quite convert the D there. That was a nice put. Like, as you said, like, it seems like these teams are really doing a good job of, like, you know, putting those deep throws up, and maybe just the handler's not quite putting the right edge on it, and so they're dipping down and maybe coming in a little faster than the handlers want, but or the receivers want. But that was a really nice throw.
Great job by Mofo there. That will take us 8-2 to half. We'll take a quick timeout up in the booth here too and be back with more action from Junior Women's Division at CUC's. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Canadian Ultimate Championships 2019. We are here in Edmonton, Alberta at Ivor Dent Sports Park, the junior women's division, with Mofo taking on Bonfire out of BC. I'm here with Talina Huff. Do you want to tell us about what happened in the first half there?
Well, first half was really exciting. These are both teams that are not afraid to put those long shots up with a lot of hucks. Unfortunately, they haven't been converting necessarily on a lot of those. It seems like we have either some intermittent wind or maybe some nerves. A lot of those aren't floating maybe in the way that the handlers are wanting to. We had some amazing defensive plays by Mofo here, especially with Gillis just like coming through. We've seen a number of run-through Ds where Mofo just seems like they're grinding hard. And so I'm looking forward to the second half here. I think maybe that halftime will give Bonfire a little bit of a reset. Maybe they got some inspiring words from their coaching staff. And let's see if they can come out firing here for the second half.
Yeah, Bonfire coached by Carla Keffer and Monica Devonshire. The Mofo team from Winnipeg being coached by Will Conrad, Laura Hatch, and Carmen Lee. So Bonfire all set to pull here, and we're kicking off the second half. Bonfire again coming. We saw a little bit of their zone defense in the first half, coming down in that again. Knockart to Stoas. Back to Carol Jean Wong. Very active marks from the Bonfire defense, doing everything they can to rattle Wong, but she gets it through to Knockart. Back to Stoas. Puts one through the middle there. Oh, and just a little bit of a bobble. Can't reel that one in. Good pressure by the downfield defense from Bonfire. Oh, and just a little bit of a miscue there. I think she was getting into high stall count. Not a lot of options downfield. And this one immediately put up. Great throw there. That was Carol Jean Wong with an absolute dime into the end zone off the turnover. Beautiful float right into the hands of her receiver.
Yeah, that throw went off basically back from the brick here. That was a really, really nice put. Gave the receiver lots of time to read where it was going, read where the end zone line was, and once again, one of those nice little hops in that we've seen a few times already in the first half.
Yeah, we've definitely seen that Mofo not afraid to put those big shots up. They have a lot of trust in their downfield receivers, and I think we're going to be seeing a lot more of that throughout the tournament. Coach Will Conrad saying before the game they're still kind of figuring out their best strategy and what's going to work for them throughout this tournament. I think in this game especially we've seen a lot of pressure on defense, and then once they get the turnover, putting those huge hucks up for the receiver. So very exciting for us to watch up here. So if you are just joining us, it is currently 9-2 for Mofo. They are in the white jerseys, Bonfire in the dark. Mofo set to pull here. Disc in the hands of Nicole Gobert. Great pull by Gobert. Bonfire swinging the disc over to Taff Oliver, surveying her options. Oh, great heads-up play there. That was Emma Bullock. Floating it up again. Kate Borden goes up and grabs that one. Oh, and just puts it a little bit too far for Madison Franklin. It's kind of been what's been going on with Bonfire throughout this game. They've been making some great cuts, but just few execution errors with the throws. Disc back in the hands of Gobert. Floats it over to Einerson. Shots one. Oh, but the Bonfire player reads that one perfectly and immediately puts up a huck of her own. Two Bonfire receivers in the end zone, able to reel it in. Kate Bourdon, great read there.
Yeah, Gabby Campos with that defensive play and then like converted right away before Mofo even had a chance to set up their defense and just floated that huck to two wide open receivers in the end zone there.
Yeah, so some signs of life from Bonfire. That's great to see coming out of half. Excellent defensive read, and then great huck into this end zone. We're seeing the players definitely figuring out this breeze a little bit, and we've had a couple great shots into that left end zone.
So yeah, I think this was a real morale booster for Bonfire, and it's always nice to come out of half and get that point. And so let's see if they can force a quick turnover for Mofo here and maybe get a couple more, build that confidence up, get that energy up, because yeah, like you said earlier at half, it seems like they're a little bit downtrodden maybe on the sideline, and that psychological aspect of just like feeling like, you got this, that you're scoring, that you're connecting with your teammates can really go a long way.
Yeah, especially building into the rest of their tournament. It is just the first day of this pool play. We are currently featuring Pool A games. Also in this pool is Wicked and Rolling Thunder. So there's still a lot of tournament left. It'd be great to see Bonfire kind of gain some momentum and confidence going into the rest of it. Knockert with the disc. Centers to Stoas. She looks around for Wong. Again, Bonfire with this zone. Oh, finds a nice shot through the middle. Puts that one up for Megan Gillis. And kind of jumping into the end zone is Gillis. Great put there, and Mofo makes short work of that Bonfire zone.
Yeah, that's the thing about the zone is if you can get it through that wall of people and get it to somebody a little bit farther upfield, you just have so many options because so many of your defenders are still back in that cup trying to catch up. And so that one, just getting it through there, really opened up the field for them, and they were able to get that point in real quick.
Yeah, lots of trust downfield with these Mofo receivers. As soon as they're open, floating up for Megan Gillis, bringing the score to 10-3 for Mofo. So Bonfire, I think I'd like to see them go away from that zone a little bit. They've been doing a great job of putting pressure on the Mofo handlers and downfield cutters. The zone worked a couple times for them, but Mofo definitely on that point, figuring it out, making short work of it. So I think I'd like to see them go back to just some pressure match defense.
I mean, they have lots of really fast players, and so yeah, that match defense might work a little bit better. Mofo just has some really good, really confident handlers, and that wind that we saw maybe gusting a little bit in the first half has kind of died down. So right now it's pretty still out here, and so I think Mofo has no trouble doing those over-the-top throws as we've seen so far. And so that's just going to shred a zone unless you're communicating really well, really fast. And so they might have a little bit more luck with person D, but we'll see. We'll see what they do.
Yeah. Kind of seems like a few of those Mofo handlers, Knockert especially, it seems like she's a little more comfortable going over the top and that she'd rather do that. But we'll get a look at the Mofo D here. Bonfire O-line. Oh, tries to put that one up, but Mofo player gets a hand on it, and they get the disc back right away here. In the hands of Samantha McFadden.
You always see Mofo just streaking deep right away as soon as they get that turnover.
Finds a reset on this far sideline. Not a lot of options downfield. Pressure on that reset. Oh, nice grab there. Lisbeth Hildebrand. She's been doing that all day long. Finds a reset. Samantha McFadden swings the disc over. Back to McFadden. Finds a downfield receiver. Immediately streaks up line. Nice patience there by Emily Cho. Mofo swinging the disc across the sideline. Jillian Bannister with it now. Elizabeth Hildebrand coming out of the stack. Looking for a receiver, not finding it. Gets her reset. Streaks into the end zone, but the Bonfire player, great defense there to cut that off. Oh, and finds nice IO flick right into the end zone.
Man, yeah, the stall count must have been getting high there on Bannister, but she kept a cool head and just saw that break throw off the middle of the stack there and connected right away.
think that was Katrina Freeling making the cut to the break side. So good awareness there by Freeling, knowing that she had high stall count, just going into the space where she's able to put it. So that takes our score to 11-3 Mofo.
Yeah, like you said earlier, I just want to make a comment here about Elizabeth Hildebrand. Man, she's got some hops and some hands there. She's gotten a couple of those like really high floaty ones that maybe the wind picked up a little bit a couple of times and like maintained possession for Mofo quite a few times now.
It's such a huge asset to have that kind of trust in your receiver. She's definitely proven that she has the hands and skill to get those high ones. We've even seen her grab a few low ones. It's very nice as a handler to be able to just put it up near your receiver and know she's probably going to go get it. It's a great job by Hildebrand there. Mofo back on defense. Nicole Gobert set to pull for Mofo. Bonfire picks up the disc to Kathleen Kim. Looking for her options. Oh, and just sailed a little bit too far again past Grace Miley. Bonfire setting up in this zone again. We'll see what this defensive Mofo line can do with this zone. Disc in the middle of the field. Swings it to the far sideline. Well, kind of looking over top, makes the wise decision back to the handler. Nice reset there in the hands of Nicole Gobert. Handler's doing a good job just moving it patiently between the two of them. Getting pushed back a little bit here by this Bonfire cup. Struggling a little bit. Oh, and she takes a shot over. What a grab there. Wow. I have no idea how Jillian Bannister grabbed that, but saves it for Mofo. They swing it back across the field. Bonfire zone still putting pressure on these Mofo handlers. Gobert swings it back. Katrina Freeling. Oh, two Mofo receivers. Wisely leaves it for the further down the field receiver. Back into the hands of Freeling. Looking for a cutter out of the stack. Finds Jillian Bannister right on the end zone line. Oh, and after all that work, marching it down the field, just a little bit of a miscue. That one's immediately put up, but just out of the hands of the Bonfire receiver, Madison Franklin. So Mofo will have to work it all the way down the field again. Bonfire still set up in this zone. Katrina Freeling with the disc, being pushed back towards her own end zone. Back over to Gobert. Back to Freeling. Looking for some upfield cutters, not really finding anything. Over to Bannister. Oh, and Kathleen Kim getting her hands on that, reading that she wanted to swing it over. Bonfire with a short field here. Flips it in. Oh, and just a little bit of a rush throw there. Samantha Totley doing a great job bringing that one in for Mofo. Mofo in their own end zone now. Freeling up to Gobert. Puts it up the sideline. Nice patience there by Mofo. Finds the open receiver. Floats that one up. Oh, and just a little over her head into the Bonfire. Unleashes a huck and had no one going. A little bit of excitement on the Bonfire side.
Yeah, that last huck almost seemed like it was a little bit of a punt just to, make sure that they don't get trapped on their end zone there. And their zone actually seems to be working. So, they're getting those turnovers. They're making the handlers make a lot of throws. And Mofo's just had a couple technical errors that have allowed Bonfire to get a couple good turns in.
Yeah, turning into a bit of a marathon point. Both teams A little less disciplined on this point. We've seen a couple rush throws, and this one sailing over. Great read by the Mofo receiver there. Jordan Turner does a great job keeping her feet in bounds. Swings it back over to Jillian Bannister. Back to Freeling. Jillian Bannister with the disc again. Those two doing a great job remaining patient. Looking for the upfield cutters. Not a lot of movement from the Mofo cutters downfield. Back over to Jordan Turner. To Bannister. To Freeling. Oh, finds a cutter through the hole, but just in and out of the hands of Maddie Boroditsky. Sarah Morby picks up the disc for Bonfire. Great pressure by Mofo, but Carolyn Kim reels that one in. Another great grab into the end zone. Oh, but Mofo is there again. Maddie Boroditsky making her presence known there, getting a hand on the disc, taking that point away from Bonfire.
Yeah, it seems like Bonfire, they work it all the way up to the end zone, and then they just, you know, do a little bit maybe of a rush decision. They just need to take a second and clear their head a little bit.
Oh, nice save there by Gobert. Floaty pass. Looked like the Bonfire player was going to get there first, but she has a great read. Samantha Totley with the disc now. Again goes over top. The Bonfire player does get there. Kathleen Kim all over the place on this point.
Yeah, it seems like she got a piece of that.
And again, just rushed in the end zone a little bit, this Bonfire squad. Mofo doing a great job of always putting pressure on those downfield cutters. Oh, and again, Gobert reels one in with pressure. Streaking up the field, Samantha Totley has a receiver open, wisely holsters it. Looking for a receiver, now she'll go to the reset. Back up, and a shot into the end zone. And that one will sail just out of bounds. So quite a marathon point we are having here. Both teams showing perhaps some signs of fatigue. Can see a few players out there with their hands on their head. This has been quite a long point. Just rushing those throws. It seems like when there's points like these, teams want to just kind of get them over with, and so they rush them even more and turn it into an even longer player. Great play there by Jillian Bannister, taking that one away. Nicole Gobert with the disc in the middle, pointing for her receiver. Bonfire players in the area, and that disc is swatted away.
Yeah, like you said, like there's always that tendency to like get a little frustrated as these points get a little longer, and maybe you make some deep throws because, you know, your legs are tired. You just want it to be over, and yeah, it's a lot of back and forth right now.
Yeah, Bonfire again having some receivers open downfield, but just rushing the throw a little bit. That was Isabella Wilson that made the great D, and then had an open receiver, and that disc just came out of her hands a little too low. So Mofo back with the disc again. Jillian Bannister goes over top, and again, Kathleen Kim with the D. I think she's had 3 or 4 on this point already.
Yeah, Kathleen Kim for like MVP defense on this point for sure.
Isabella Wilson sends it upfield, and again, just a little low there for Carolyn Kim. Kathleen and Carolyn, sisters on this team. Their coach said they are definitely a force to be reckoned with, and we have seen that on this point.
Described as stalwarts of the O&D Lions.
Mofo back with the disc. Jillian Bannister swings it over to Gobert. Fakes the huck. Looks to reset. Back to Bannister. Nice shot up the field to Samantha Totley. Airs one out. Bonfire player gets it. Oh, but she reels it in. Not quite in, though. And Mofo finally bringing this point to an end.
Yeah, man, that was quite the marathon. Like, you can see the excitement in her little layout grab there. She's hyping her teammates up right after that sick horizontal grab. And hopefully we can switch these lines out and give those poor players a break. That was quite the point, actually.
Yeah, great patience there. You always worry a little bit after a player makes a great grab. It always takes a bit of a breath to calmly throw one into the end zone, but she's able to nicely flip that in, and I believe that was Asma Al Abdul Rida that caught the goal for Mofo. We also saw her make quite a few Ds on that point in the other end zone, so great job by both teams sticking that one out. We definitely saw some signs of life from Bonfire on that. They had some great cuts, lots of pressure on defense, but again, just a few miscues and execution errors, some discs floating just out of the hands of their receivers, and Mofo able to capitalize on it.
Yeah, we had a lot of turnovers, especially on this home side over in the corner over here. Bonfire would work it right up to that end zone line, and then Mofo just did an excellent job of keeping them to the fore side and, forcing those errors where like either the wind grabbed it or they got some congestion in there and were able to get a hand on several of Bonfire's discs that they tried to jam in there.
Elizabeth Hildebrand with the pull for Mofo. If you're just joining us, it is currently 12-3 for Mofo, playing against this Bonfire team out of BC in the black shirts, currently with the disc. Here we see Mofo coming down in a zone of their own. Hannah Smith with the disc on the far side, looking for a receiver through the middle, resets back. Lots of pressure. Looks like Mofo's playing a little bit of a rabbit here. Puts one up over the top. Able to grab it. Oh, and it looks like we have an injury on the field. Elizabeth Hildebrand taking a little bit of contact there.
Yeah, it looks like that might have been, she just got a cleat on the foot, so hopefully it's nothing too serious.
She popped up pretty quick, which is always nice to see. So disc will remain in the hands of Hannah Smith for Bonfire. Bonfire back on this sideline, having to go over top, and that one knocked out of the air by Isabel Einerson. We've seen her also doing a lot for Mofo on both ends. Mofo back with the disc. That's Lindsay Marshall. Back to Elizabeth Hildebrand. Oh, and just a little bit over top Lindsay Marshall's head. Bonfire with the disc back. That's Taff Oliver. And right into the hands of Samantha McFadden. McFadden fakes the huck. Lots of pressure from the Bonfire mark. Up to Einerson. She airs one out. Lots of time to get under it. Great read. Emily Cho in the end zone. Einerson airing that one up perfectly for her. Nice read by Cho, and that makes it 13-3 for Mofo.
Yeah, Cho had some time to read that one going in. Yeah, Bonfire just seemed like they got trapped a few times, like just by that Mofo cup, and had to put it up top. And Mofo's just been exceptional today at having, players poached in the right position, having their head on a swivel, and reading those over top throws and making them really, really tough on Bonfire.
So we will have more action for you all throughout the week. Later today at 12:30, we will have more junior women action, Vortex versus Toro, and then later in the day, some junior open division action with Toro and Vortex. So stay tuned all day. We're here Monday to Wednesday with the junior division, and then Thursday to Sunday, the adults take over the fields. We'll have the single gender divisions, both open women's and masters, at Ivor Dent Sports Park. Beautiful facility that we're here. We're kind of hoping it warms up a little bit. It doesn't feel like August, but we can't complain too much. It's not raining. There's a light breeze. I'm sure it's quite nice down there for the players.
Yeah, I mean, as commentators, we might be a little bit chilly, but sometimes that cool air is a lot better than playing in a plus 30 day, so.
Bella Martin picks up the disc for Bonfire. Floats that one up. 2 receivers. Oh, and she just can't quite reel that in. That's Emma Bullock on the sideline. Pressure by the Mofo defender. Sarah Stoas will go pick that one up on the sideline. Immediately up to Knockert. She airs that one up. Oh, and just a little bit short. Looks like it came out of her hand. Not how she intended. So Bonfire back with the disc. Finds Carolyn Kim. Looking upfield. Oh, great read there. Mofo taking that disc back. Finds Knockert upfield. Reels that one in, and immediately it to Stoas in the end zone. Nice grab there. Sarah Stoas streaking up line. Gets one hand on the disc and reels it in for the Mofo score, making it 14-3 Mofo.
Yeah, that was a tough grab for Stoas. It was a little bit low, a little bit hot maybe to grab there, but she's got hands of iron.
Yeah, we're definitely seeing the Mofo defense putting tons of pressure on this Bonfire squad. They have a lot of great defensive players on this Mofo team, not really giving the Bonfire players anything to work with.
Yeah, Bonfire seems like they keep looking for those deep throws, and for some reason that tail of the disc is just trailing down, and they're getting some weird floats on it. And so, yeah, maybe they need to switch up their offense a little and just see if they can maybe thread it through instead of going for those deeps, because those deeps just aren't working for them right now.
I think we're definitely seeing perhaps the difference in experience level of these two teams. There were quite a few teams on the Mofo, or quite a few players on the Mofo team that also went to Canadian High School Nationals and had a lot of success there. There are some players that, as we mentioned, went to the U24 and are also returning players of this Mofo squad that are defending championships. So Mofo just doing a little bit better job executing those throws. Bonfire making some great cuts and putting a lot of pressure on Mofo defensively, but just a few execution errors with their throws that I think as they get further in their careers and throw more, that they'll definitely be able to clean that up.
Yeah, because those deep looks are definitely there. They just need to convert on more of them. See, another excellent example of those deep looks.
As we say that,
there.
they put one up. But again, the Mofo defense, that's Alexi Gagnon getting her hand on it.
Yeah, maybe just needed a little bit more snap to keep it in front of those receivers, and that would have definitely been a point for Bonfire.
So Mofo with a chance to end the game here. Swings the disc over to Lisbeth Hildebrand. Through the middle to Emily Cho. Back to Hildebrand. Floats one over the top. Oh, and the Bonfire player takes it away from her.
Oh.
But again, just a little bit rushed throw. That's kind of been the theme of the day for Bonfire. Lots of great defensive plays and then just getting a little bit too excited and rushing some of those throws.
Yeah, looks
just
like
out of the hands of the receiver.
Gustafsson might have lost her footing there a little bit too.
Mofo back with the disc. Swings it to Bannister. Oh, and
right on the line.
Bonfire with a chance. Short field here, right on their own end zone line. Oh, and again, a little bit of a miscommunication.
It's always tough to float those short little flicks like that. Maybe should have waited for a better cut in a few minutes.
Hildebrand with the disc for Mofo. Floats one over for Bannister. She makes sure she has this one. Back to Bannister. Down to Hildebrand. She floats one over the top. That is Tien Lee with the disc. Bonfire player getting her hand on it. It's Gabby Campos centering to Madison Franklin. Looking for her reset. Great reset there to Taff Oliver.
This is Taff Oliver's CUC debut.
Exciting weekend for her. Madison Franklin with the disc for Bonfire. Looking again for Taff Oliver. Oh, and the Mofo player.
Just getting that hand in there.
It's Jillian Bannister. Floats that one up. Wide open receiver. Oh, but just a little bit too far for Emily Cho. She had tons of space there to run onto it, but again, that OI over the shoulder. Very difficult read for your receiver. And again, just a little bit of a miscue for Bonfire. Mofo with short field here to take this game. Lisbeth Hildebrand picking up the disc on the sideline. Bonfire setting up in that zone again, trying to put pressure. She swings the disc over to Katrina Freeling. Over to Bannister. Floats one over. Mofo is there on their own end zone, and that will be the game for Mofo. Great patience there on that end zone line for Mofo. Not exactly sure who caught that because she's being swarmed by her team. But that will be the game. Mofo takes it 15-3.
It's a good fight from Bonfire. I think this would have been a completely different game if they could have been like maybe a little bit more chill, maybe a few less technical errors and just, bobbled hand turnover things. Sorry. And still a good fight. Like I said, there was a lot of points where there was a lot of back and forth, and that one that was basically a marathon point that those lines just had to grind through. And so overall, an exciting start to my CUC week.
Yeah, we definitely saw the emergence of a few players on the Bonfire side. The Kim sisters definitely making their presence known on the defensive end. Few, as you said, mistakes from Bonfire, some unforced errors, but then we also saw the emergence of some players from Mofo. Tons of pressure on the defensive end, lots of great plays. Lisbeth Hildebrand all over the field, Megan Gillis. And then, of course, the handling of Stoez, Knockart, just Einerson. Tons of handling experience there on this Mofo team. They did a great job handling the Bonfire zone, and they definitely showed that they are here again to defend that championship. And I think it's going to be pretty exciting to watch them as the week goes on. So thanks for joining us, everyone. We will be back at 12:30 with some more junior women's division action. I'm Bobby Anderson on behalf of Talina Huff and Ultimate Canada. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you soon.